Hi, everybody. It's Chris here. Welcome to week number 2. You're going to see me switching between looking at the MacBook screen here, and just to my left, I have a Surface Pro screen that has some notes I want to talk to you a little bit about to think about week number 2. So, as you're aware, the Corsa objectives for week 2 are review and understand a wide variety of participation and engagement models and conceptualize and articulate how these models of engagement and participation will inform your professional practice. So, in other words, what's going to happen this week is we're going to think about participation, think about what Cornwall says about the idea of what it means to participate, and different, I guess, thoughts on that, different expectations people have around what it means to participate, and they're not all the same. Leslie goes into some similar work around faulty thinking around stakeholder engagement and making sure that through this process of stakeholder engagement we build trust. She talks about transparency within the chapter and some other things as well. From the third article from Karsten from 2012, you're just going to see a variety of models. They call it a potpourri of different types of stakeholder engagement models. And I want you to think about those, not that we would employ all of them, but really around what models are most appropriate at which times. And that's what I really want you to think about in your DQs this week. Of course, DQ1 says you're to review the resources for the week and consider the various models. Again, most of which are listed within the Karsten article. Think about your current working context and organizational culture and which model would you implement and why. And different people are going to come up with different answers for different reasons. And I think that goes back to what Cornwall says within the article around that, there is no one size fits all approach for stakeholder engagement. Different organizations, different stakeholders have different expectations around engagement, and what works for you is the question, and what would work within your context. So that's a lot of what I want you to think about in terms of that DQ. The second DQ says, as an educational leader, what might you do differently as a result of this week's readings? How will your learning impact, inform, and improve your practice? So again, think back around what Leslie's saying around transparency, Cornwall around that whole idea of who's participating and why. When you look in the course news and bulletins, I took some screenshots of a couple of the tables that Cornwall created within that article. And again, back to Karsten and all those different models. So as you think through the DQs, I really want you to put a lot of thought into what would work in your environment and why. And based on this exposure to all these different models, how have you grown, and what will you do differently in the future? So I look forward to what you put in the DQs this week. I'll be interacting with you throughout the week, and just wanted a little bit of a preamble there. So thanks so much for listening and watching, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.